did it, Internet. We hedgehogged the Cracker Barrel. That's the new phrase I'm going to start using. Anytime we bully a company into listening to us, the fans and customers, we hedgehogged them. Just like how, Paramount changed Sonic the Hedgehog after internet outcry from Ugly Sonic. Cracker Barrel did the same. Back to their old logo. Absolute W. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol. And yes, that being said, you might notice the thumbnail says total chud victory. Was this truly a chud victory? Well, according to CNN, it was. After right-wing backlash, Cracker Barrel says it will get rid of its new logo. Now, I would be remiss if I did not point out that this was not a right-wing thing. This was not a left-wing thing. This was a Americana, the regular customers on both sides, because some things go beyond politics, go beyond party lines. So we're going to cover not only what CNN has to say, but a couple other outlets and what the general sentiment on X is. Before we do hit that subscribe button, I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And yeah, let's start with the bullshit framing from CNN. Yeah, after a right-wing backlash, Cracker Barrel says it will get rid of its new logo. Who is this written by? Is it Ramisha Maroof? I don't have to tell you why this probably is inherently targeted towards the right wing when you read a name like this. New York, after days of intense backlash, most recently from President Donald Trump, Cracker Barrel is scrapping its new minimalist logo. Interesting. From President Donald Trump, didn't even Gavin Newsom criticize the Cracker Barrel logo? Who cares? We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for a Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain, the company said in a statement. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like a family. As proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to the table soon. Last week, Cracker Barrel received a barrage of criticism when it unveiled its modernized logo, which got rid of namesake Barrel, the old-timer figure. Some loyal fans feared the 56-year-old chain was drifting too far from its bucolic, maybe it's like bucolic, anyway, roots, and the company's shares nosedived more than 12% days after the announcement. Trump congratulated the company on its reversal Tuesday. All your fans very much appreciate it. Good luck in the future. Make lots of money. Most importantly, make your customers happy again, he said on Truth Social. A deputy White House chief staff posted on X they received a call from Cracker Barrel earlier on Tuesday saying they thanked the President Trump for weighing in on the issue. On Monday, the struggling company-themed restaurant chain and road trip staple signaled that it had messed up with the minimalist logo, saying, "We could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be." Now, here's the deal. I want to talk about the idea that they are blaming the right wing, but they're not really blaming the right wing in the article. This is what we call headline culture. In the actual article, if you read through it, they're just stating what happened. And frankly, from what we read, pretty accurate account of the situation. But you need that divisive headline because CNN readers ain't going to read it if it doesn't attack the right wing. But let's take a look at USA Today. They're a lot more honest in their appraisal of the situation. Cracker Barrel to return to old-timer logo after Trump customer backlash. All right. Cracker Barrel announced August 26th it's dropping its much criticized new logo, returning to the old-timer. We thank our guests for sharing, which, yes, we already know that. Here's the editorial play. The nationwide restaurant chain and country store, which is known for its comfort food and nostalgic atmosphere, unveiled a new simplified logo with the launch of a full menu campaign on August 19th. The enhanced brand look was intended to modernize the company's brand, executives said, and the intent includes moving its restaurants away from nostalgia-rich decor to something more contemporary and less cluttered. The change drew sharp criticism from customers and politicians, with both President Donald Trump and the Democratic Party decrying the change. Why would you look at that? Well, would you look at that? It's almost as if it's not a political thing. It never was a political thing. That being said, people are still trying to make it a political thing. I draw your attention to X. Now, before we read through here, can we call this a victory? A lot of folk are saying a whole lot of different things. Hey, great, logo's back. What about the interior of the stores? The interior of the stores going to change? That's probably going to be a whole lot more difficult to change than the logo in terms of being like costly and whatnot for the business. I would imagine the restaurants that have already changed, which I think there was only like 60 of or something like that, they're stuck like that. Or if they're not stuck like that, it will be a while before the change goes away. I mean, you got to shut the store down for days, which costs revenue, repainting, hanging everything back up. You've got to hire third-party contractors. Like, I'm going to be real. I don't think the decor is changing, at least not anytime soon for those, but by all means, I could be wrong. However, the more interesting discussion is around the CEO itself. So, of course, we have Cracker Barrel's statement on X, right? But then we got Jeremy Prime here. My boy Jeremy. Nice guy. I like him. He says, now fire CEO and we'll all come back. Stop. Stop. This is wrong. This is a bad mentality to go down the route of. Look, if we didn't go see the Sonic film, let's say they fixed ugly Sonic, made him look great, and we still didn't show up to see it, then what incentive was there to listen to us in the first place? No. Go back now. I get it. The CEO sucks. We want to see her gone. We all want to see her gone. I want to see her gone. However, don't just say you won't come back until this broad's fired. Okay, that's not really how this works. And again, this is about the idea of minimalism, brutalism, cultural and artistic degradation. You know, Cracker Barrel and many of these other logos and brands and franchises and anything are symbols of Americana. They tried to strip that away. We made our voices heard, and they said, shit, all right, never mind, we're backing off. That is a step in the right direction. Is it perfect? No, I'm not hearing anyone say that this is the end-all, be-all. That being said, you need to incentivize good behavior, even if it started with negative behavior. So yeah, I disagree with this. My guy is 206 miles from the nearest Cracker Barrel enjoying this victory. Me, a guy that's 206 miles from the nearest Cracker Barrel enjoying this victory. I mean, again, this affected everybody. Man, I've won in my city. I'm going to go to it. I can't wait. I'm going to go, and I'm excited. Let's see. Deb responded to Cracker Barrel. Yeah, don't really care about that. There was a lot of I agree with this one right here. This is a mess for Pizza Hut. You saw what we did to Cracker Barrel. Bring back the dining buffet and red cups. You're next. Boy, wouldn't that be the day. Complaining works? Yes, it certainly does. Give them credit for not doubling down and completely fucking up their business. Now, about that CEO. A lot of folks focus on the CEO, which again, I do get. But incremental changes. Now, we got Robbie Starbuck here. Now, I can't stand this mentality. Despite our win, forcing them to revert back to the old logo, Cracker Barrel still has DEI and LGBTQ pride page up on their website. They're still totally, hopelessly woke. How are they continuing to screw up this badly? Alright, we gotta stop here. This is insane. Okay, the rebranding of the Cracker Barrel wasn't woke. It wasn't, for political purposes. If it was, one side of the aisle would have loved it. But they didn't, right? Democrats, Republicans, people who are apolitical, everyone hated it. And why? Because it was a slap in the face to American tradition. You are not going to get this stuff right here to change overnight. All right? You're simply not. Trying to denounce the good thing they did, which was listen to the customers and, frankly, listen to their financial, their shareholders due to the fact that, as we can see from various different reviews and whatnot, they dropped 7%, 12%. Their money plummeted. Now, their money only plummeted because of folks like us making our voices heard and no one going there. Of course, the stock market seeing what was on the horizon, being like, oh, I don't know, that seems like it's a bit of a mistake. Like, there's a lot of reasons why this was a failure, but we had a part in it. Now, that being said, LGBT stuff and whatnot on their website, is it cringe? Yes. Yes, it's cringe. That being said, I don't know about you guys. I've never been in a Cracker Barrel and thought, and seen pride flags everywhere, right? I've never been inside a Cracker Barrel and thought, oh, wow, they've really gone full left-leaning demitard or anything like that. Trying to equate everything to just some sort of, it's wokeness this, wokeness that, doesn't really do anything to help advance the situation. So there was another article from Fox News stating, let me see if I can find it right here, that stated that there were investors, shareholders saying this would be a bad look. Let's see if we can find this. One moment. All right, Cracker Barrel, Fox News, behind the scenes investor warning. Right? Let's try that. There we go. From Fox Business. Cracker Barrel's CEO dismissed warnings from a top investor who called the rebranding obvious folly. Julie Feltz-Massino and board ignored Sardar Biglari's criticism of the $700 million transformation, calling it an obvious folly. Cracker Barrel's into the rebranding debacle began with a phone call at 4:30 p.m. on May 16th, 2024. That day, Cracker Barrel's new CEO, Julie Fels-Messino, got on the phone with investors and unveiled the details of a strategic transformation plan her board of directors had approved. The first of 5 pillars in the plan would be refining and evolving the brand across all touchpoints. Over the next months, Messino and her board of directors dismissed at least 4 warnings by a top investor, Sardar Biglari, that the rebranding was obvious folly. Filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission reveal. Cracker Barrel is not a broken brand, but it has a broken board, he wrote in a scathing 7-page letter to shareholders. He laid out his criticisms in a 120-page slide deck presentation while the title Cracker Barrel is in crisis next to the company's longtime logo of an old man overalls leaning on a barrel, a logo that Messino would wipe out unbeknownst to Biglari at the time. Now, this is why firing the CEO is so important. Not because of any sort of wokeness, not because of her political affiliations. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those don't exist, but that's not the point here. The point is that as a CEO and as your job, as the leader, you need to understand the cultural zeitgeist. You need to understand what your customer wants. You also need to understand the company itself. When you've got one of your major investors and shareholders saying, this is a bad idea, and they did a 120-page slideshow about it, according to this, a 16-page report about it, and for you as the CEO to be like, fuck you, don't care, we're doing it my way, that is incompetence. That is not leadership. That's actually the direct opposite of leadership. So yes, the CEO does need to go, but that doesn't mean that, there shouldn't be some sort of reward, because not everything falls on the CEO. You know what? We did the Cracker Barrel. I think we still should all go. We should still, visit the stores, eat yourself a nice hearty breakfast. I'm going to see about maybe going with my grandpa this weekend or something like that. We'll see. But, I don't know. At the end of the day, these are my thoughts on the matter. This is a total chud victory. In all reality, it's a victory for everybody. Can it be better? Yes. We obviously want to see the stores return to their old-timey aesthetic. They're already changed. We definitely want to see the CEO get taken out of her position. But little steps and reward good decisions that are made. Let's be real. They didn't have to do this. They could have just gone woke and went broke like several other companies. But they didn't, and that does mean something in this day and age. For those are my opinions, let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. Not usually about brand, logo, corporate situations, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 200 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community, and I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. We want kind of diversity of thought. That's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.